successfully completed network fundamentals in the last week till yesterday. And from today onwards, we'll continue with say this scenario. Here we have two networks. Network A, network B. Network A in Hyderabad, network B is in Bangalore. For network A, all devices have assigned IP address in 192.168.1.10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70. Similarly, network B users have assigned IP address in 192.168.2.10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, and 70, like this. Now, how to enable communication between network A and network B? So to enable communication between two or more different logical networks, we must require device called what? Router. So that is what today our concept is, introduction to routers. Here we have few points about router. Router is an internetworking device. Remember first day I given 4 points about what is network, networking, internetworking. So router is an internetworking device, means enabling communication between two or more different networks called internetworking. So it's an internetworking device. In OSI reference model, routers operate in which layer?
Layer 3.
Layer 3. So router is layer 3 device. It's enable communication between two or more different logical networks. It's a network layer device, which we call layer 3 device. So what router will do? A router will define the routes to reach a destination. Like this is the best route, this is the best route. Like it it comes from word called route. Hence it's also defined find the best path called route action. And the last IP of router is the default gateway for all devices in LAN. So what is the last point here? IP of router is the default gateway for all devices in LAN. Means see here, we must require a router. How many routers? Two routers. One for Hyderabad office, another for Bangalore office. So let's say this is R1, router 1 for Hyderabad office, R2 for Bangalore office. Like R1, R2 connected via service provider. The point is, we need to assign one IP address to router. So what is the network we are using for network A? Network A is 192.168.1.0 is the network. 1.0 is the network ID. So for router, the first usable IP address is recommended. Remember? So what is the first usable IP address? 192.168.1.1. Let us assign for router IP. And for R2 router, 192.168.2.1. Yeah, here 2. Network. So its first usable IP is 2.1. Now point is, PC7 is trying to connect with PC4. I repeat, PC7 is trying to connect with PC4. Tell me, source IP address and destination IP address. 1.70 is a source, 1.40 is a destination. Now this IP packet is generated. You know what PC will do? PC itself will check my computer IP address. My IP address is 1.70 and my destination is 1.40. Oh, my IP and my destination IP both are in same network. If both are in same network, then traffic will go to switch and switch will forward it and reply will come back. So same network communication is possible like this. Then router will not require action. Like what if this seventh device is trying to communicate with network 2, which is Bangalore network second computer. then destination is 2.20. 2.20. So source is 1.70, destination is 2.20. What your PC can understand, oh, my destination is in different network. So I need a router to forward my packet. So how PC knows about where is router? We need to configure as default gateway address. Whatever router IP you have assigned, that will be the default gateway. So default gateway is 1.1, 192.168.1. What about for sixth computer? What about for fifth computer, first computer, second computer? For all devices, traffic should exit via 1.1. So for all devices, gateway is 1.1. That is the point here. IP of router is the default gateway for all devices in LAN. It's clear? So today, point number 1, what is router? Point number 2, type of routers. Basically, you have two type of routers, software and hardware routers. So software routers are like Windows Server OS. Windows Server is a software router. Linux Server is a software router. Servers are software routers actually. So there is one option, there is one feature called routing in Windows servers and Linux server, but there are not a dedicated routers. So dedicated routers are what? Hardware routers. In hardware routers also we have different type of vendors like Juniper, Multicom, Maipu, D-Link, HP, many more. In international market, top leading manufacturer company Cisco. So we are going to be learning about Cisco routers, hardware routers. Okay. Two type of routers, hardware and software. We don't work with the software routers. Just understand software routers are Microsoft server and Linux server. But hardware routers, many vendors. Like we are practicing on Cisco routers and switches. Yeah. Next point is functions. Functions of a router. Point number 3 is functions of a router. Inter-network communication is the first function. What do you mean by inter-network communication? Anyone can tell what is inter-network communication?
Between two networks.
Communication between two or more different networks, right? Yeah. So router functionality is it's enable communication between two or more different networks. Like from one source to reach a destination, if I have a multiple paths, then what router will do? Find shortest path. That we called best path selection. Is it clear? First 2 points? Inter-network communication, best path selection. And next point is packet switching and packet forwarding. What is packet switching? This packet forwarding. Yes. Packet switching and packet forwarding. All of you, have you seen this device?
Yes.
Yes. We are well known of this device, right? In backside, you can see different type of ports are there. So some ports are in blue color, blue zone. We call it is LAN ports. The one which is in gray is internet port, means WAN port we call it. So every router must having two type of ports, LAN port and WAN port. Okay. But now our scenario is LAN computers, local devices are connected to which ports? Your PC1, your PC2, your PC3. These all ports, these all devices are, you need to connect it to WAN port or LAN port?
LAN.
LAN port.
LAN port.
Okay, are connected to port number 4, port number 3, and port number 2. Right. So now, if you need internet, we contact to service provider. So from service provider means it's a service provider router actually, ISP. My local service provider is ActFiber. So ISP will give one cable. That cable we need to connect it to LAN port or WAN port?
WAN port.
WAN port.
WAN port. So ISP cable connected to internet port, which is WAN port. Okay. ISP side, ISP WAN port. Says ISP WAN port. It is a customer WAN port connected actually. Do you think your local service provider is directly connected to your Facebook server?
No.
FB.com. So your local service provider is connected to FB.com directly? No. FB server is in different country. You're in local. So between there are many service providers are connected. Let's say this is ISP-A, ActFiber connected to ISP-B, BSNL. ISP-A, just a minute. Yeah, hello. So ISP-A connected to ISP-B, ISP-B connected to ISP-C. Multiple service providers are connected. How they are connected? All are connected to WAN ports. ISP-A WAN port to ISP-B WAN port, ISP-B WAN port to ISP-C WAN port, all are connected to WAN ports actually, right? Now understand. One of the user is trying to access facebook.com. From user, data traffic is generated. So this user on router, which port is connected? Which type of port connected? End user is connected to LAN port or WAN port?
LAN port.
LAN port. So traffic is generated in LAN port. Is LAN port directly connected to ISP? No.
No.
So what LAN ports will do? All traffic which is generated from users, these LAN ports, what LAN ports will do? LAN ports cannot send traffic to ISP directly. Not possible now. So what LAN port will do? LAN port will send traffic to which port? WAN port. This process we called packet switching, sending IP traffic from one interface to another interface, LAN port to WAN port. This process we called packet switching. Now what WAN port will do? All internet port, all traffic coming from LAN port. What WAN port will do? WAN port packet will send to which device? ISP.
Yes.
So sending IP traffic from your home router, one router to another router, is packet forwarding. So packet switching happen within your router, one interface to another interface. Packet forwarding means one router to another router. So WAN port, ISP WAN port 1 is received. What ISP WAN port 1 will do? ISP WAN port 1 packet sent to which port? WAN port 2 means packet switching. Again, ISP A WAN port 2 will send to ISP B, one router to another router, packet forwarding, again switching, forwarding, again switching. So entire routing can done these two actions, which is packet forwarding and packet switching. This is the router functionalities action. Packet switching and packet forwarding. These four important points to remember, please. Okay. Inter-network communication, best path selection, packet switching, and packet forwarding. Yeah.
So router understand router will do automatically packet switching, or it's any configuration need to apply for manually to switch the packet.
Routing need to be configured. We need to configure routing methods, routing protocol, static routing, dynamic routing. Router is ready to do these activities, but we need to configure protocols. Then it will do it actually.
For packet switching also require the apply protocols.
Yeah, it depends upon the routing table. Router maintains the routing table. Based upon the routing table information, it will packet switch and packet forwarding. If routing table is not updated, it will cannot be done. So what is our part? We need to update routing table.
Okay.
It can be manually, it can be automatically, like this. Okay.
Okay.
Types of routers. Basically, types of, you can remember, you can write Cisco routers. Actually, in Cisco, we have two type of routers. One is fixed router, which is outdated completely, no market here. One is modular router. So currently we are working with modular routers. But what is the differences between the fixed router and modular router? This fixed router is outdated actually because the port speeds are fixed. Port speed is fixed. I'll explain. Say this is fixed router. It is modular router. Consider router 1, R1 is fixed router. R2 is modular router. Okay. Every router must have two type of ports, LAN and WAN port. If it is fixed router, LAN port type, LAN port is AUI port, attachment unit interface, AUI. This AUI port is 15 pin port. And this AUI port maximum can support 10 Mbps speed. Like you want to upgrade it to 100 Mbps is not possible because that port is fixed. The speed is fixed. We cannot upgrade it. Case of modular router LAN port type is RJ45 type actually, like NIC. So NICs are available in different speed, like Ethernet, FE, fast Ethernet, GE, gigabit Ethernet. These all are like 10 Mbps port, 100 Mbps port, 1000 Mbps port, different type of ports are available. Based on our requirement, we can upgrade. We can modify. Because in modular router, slot system, slots. So for routers, we have a empty slots. On empty slots, what type of ports you want to add, we can add. You want to LAN port, you can add one more LAN port. So purchase just LAN card and you can insert here actually. If you want to use multiple WAN ports, you can add multiple WAN ports. So slot, if any one of the port is not working, you can just remove it and throw it out and purchase the new one and you can insert here actually. If any one slot is not working, you can use another slot also now. So, but in case of fixed router, if the slot, if a LAN port is not working, then entire router we need to change. We cannot remove or we cannot replace, we cannot repair it. And maximum we have 2 WAN ports. In fixed router, maximum is 2 WAN ports. WAN port is nothing but serial port. Serial port 0, serial port 1. Maximum is 2 ports only. So this, with the help of 2 ports, we can connect a branch 1. You can connect to branch 2. So maximum how many branches you can connect? Only 2 branches. In case of modular router, like how many WAN ports you want to add, that many WAN ports we can add actually, because slot systems now. Slots are available. Based upon the slots, we can add many more WAN ports. So this is a major difference between fixed router and modular router. In single point, I can say fixed routers are non-upgradable. Modular routers are upgradable based on our requirement. We can upgrade LAN ports or we can upgrade WAN ports. Got it? So try to find out and tell me this device, is it fixed router or it is modular router?
Fixed router.
Fixed router.
It's a fixed router. Okay. Yeah, because we don't have any slots, right? Yeah. So here, 2 slots, maximum 2 WAN ports, AWI port, no slots here actually. In case of modular router, you see the slot system. You can remove, you can add, you can replace. It's the modular routers. Okay. Point number 5. Cisco router category. Where we require routers?
To enable communication between two or more networks.
Okay. Example, this is a home network. For home networks, a router required or not? Yes, we need a router,
Yes.
right? For home network. Okay. There's one small office, mostly 10 to 30 devices. They need also network. Router required or not?
Yes, required.
Yes, required. There is one branch office. So branch office means it maintains the multiple branches all over India, right? So this branch should be connected to other branches also. So there's also network required. Then router is required or not?
Required.
Yeah, but Purpose is different purpose. Here home purpose, here small office, here branch office, and it is head office. So head office means it is connected to multiple branches. It can be state headquarters or district headquarters. It also required router. But who will provide internet for home network, for small office, for branch office, for head office?
Service provider.
Service provider, ISP. Then ISP required router or not?
Yes.
Yes. So for ISP, like I am only the not only the customer, for ISP, many customers are connected. Thousands of customers are connected actually. Millions of customers are connected. Then ISPs maintain very high-end devices to provide internet connectivity for customers. And ISP routers will maintain very huge traffic. So then ISP router ports should be very high speed ports like gigabit, 10 gigabit, 20 gig, 30 gig ports, fiber ports. And the storage capacity will be very high storage, RAM, NVRAM, storage is very high. And CPU processors. So processor capability is also very high CPU capacity. And multiple power supplies will maintain. It's very high-end device. In ISP, ISP cost, all routers cost also crores of rupees routers actually. 1 CR, 1.5 CR rupees routers. The cost also very high, expensive. Because they has to maintain customers' traffic, correct? So this type of routers is recommended for what type of environment? Service providers environment actually. So do you recommend it to install? Do you recommend to use the same type of router for home networks?
No.
Not required.
For head office networks? No.
Yes.
Branch office? No need. Because this is head office means head office will maintain only their office branches only. It will not maintain all customers' traffic now. Head office. Office means let's say this is ABC office. So head office, ABC office branches only can connect. But ISP will connect multiple branches, multiple customers, correct? Yeah. So based upon the requirement, there are different type of categories. Service provider routers, head office type of routers, branch office router types of routers. So in international market, Cisco is a top leading manufacturer company to provide routers for ISPs, head office and branches. It's very provide a commercial, enterprises, corporate devices, corporate network devices. It's a top actually. Cisco is a very top to provide ISP. This is one type of category router. It is recommended to you. You use it. So if you visit service providers infrastructure, the lab, you can see almost Cisco routers is using. Even head office branches also. Mostly. Three categories. Branch routers used in branch offices. Network edge and aggregation routers for head office and camp offices. Service provider routers for ISPs. Three categories. Have you seen Cisco routers for home environment?
No.
No. But for home networks is providing routers is which vendors are leading top? D-Link,
D-Link.
TP-Link, Netgear, correct? Yeah. So we can see these type of vendors for home type of routers. But once you go for commercial networks, like corporate networks, we can see Cisco device actually. But how to find out which router is a branch router, which is a network edge router is model numbers. Series, by seeing the series, we can identify it. So router series and models, like 800 series, 1900 series, 2600, 2800, 29. And models will be released like 2610, 2611, 2620. The latest models you can check in Cisco official website. They used to keep releasing new models from the series. Next category is network edge routers. If you see here, more number of slots are available. Okay, this one. Double 750 series, right? It's a kill. Kidding me?
Nah.
ISP type of router 6000, 9000 series. Right. External components of router. So in router, what type of component? Today's point number 6 is point number 7. Internal components of your router. External component. This is one example for 2800 series. This 2800 Cisco router series example. You can see the front view and rear view. Interfaces on router. Basically, any vendor, any router. It can be branch router, network edge, or ISP. Or if it is a router, there should be 3 type of ports: LAN, WAN, admin. 3 ports: LAN port, WAN port, and admin port.
I think noise is coming from Naresh side.
Sorry.
You can see here. So this is C2811. Cisco 2811 model series. For this router, there should be three type of ports: LAN port, WAN port, admin ports. Any router, these three type of ports should be common actually. Port, or we can call interface: LAN interface, WAN interface, or admin interface. From router, LAN port is used to connect a local network. The router LAN port can be Ethernet, or it can be fast Ethernet, or it can be gigabit Ethernet. It depends upon the models. So some routers will have fast Ethernet ports, some routers will have gigabit ports, some routers will have 10 gigabit ports. Like it depends upon the model actually. But router LAN port, from router LAN port, example fast Ethernet port, a cable connected to local network, means to switch. And switch users are connected. All users, user 1, user 2, user 3, user 4, user 5. All users connected to switch. Call it is LAN. So router LAN port is used to connect your local network. And LAN port types are Ethernet, fast Ethernet, gigabit Ethernet. That is LAN interface, which is RJ45. Routers have RJ45 ports to connect a router to the LAN. And speed of RJ45 ports can be 10 Mbps ports, it can be 100 Mbps ports, it can be 1000 Mbps ports, which we call Ethernet, fast Ethernet, and gigabit Ethernet. Examples: fast Ethernet ports. Okay. We use straight cable between PC to switch, switch to router, because different type of connectivities. Straight cable. Next point is serial port. Serial port is nothing but WAN ports. Serial ports basically have two categories. One is normal serial and smart serial. It is normal serial port, it is contains 60 pin port. Smart is 26 pin port. Example, here we have two slots, the first one and second one. The first one is normal serial slot. Second one is a smart serial slot. What is the difference between normal and smart serial? In normal serial slot, in entire one slot, how many ports are there? Only one port.
Only one port.
Means we can connect only one branch. That port is having 60 pin. pins are 60 pins, but port is only one port now. In case of smart serial slot, how many ports are available?
2.
2 ports, serial 0, serial 1. So we can connect it 2 branches. In one slot, 2 ports are available. In one slot, only one port is available. So which is the best?
Smart serial.
Smart serial. Normal is outdated actually. Serial port is used for WAN connectivity, for ISP connectivity. So serial ports are available as 60 pin female connectors. Smart serial 26 pin female connectors. Okay. The next point is admin ports. What is the use of admin port? A brand new router. When you purchase a brand new router, by default, LAN port and WAN port, which is serial port, don't have IP address. So Cisco routers and switches do not have any default configuration. Okay. So by default, LAN port is shutdown state. Even WAN port also shutdown state. Both LAN and WAN ports are shutdown state, and we don't have IP address. No IP address also. There are also no IP address. Then how can access router? So Cisco switches and routers do not have a default configuration. And by default, all LAN and WAN ports are in shutdown status. So to configure initially, so for first time we want to configure, we must use which port? Admin port. So those admin ports are 2 type of ports we have. One is console port, one that is auxiliary port. So what we need to do from router console port, using a console cable, we need to connect it to any one PC. So through this cable, we can provide the configuration, initial configuration. So this cable connectivity for what purpose? Configuration purpose. But data communication happens with this side cable, cross cable only. This console cable only for what? Configuration, providing configuration and troubleshooting. Ultimately, your data communication happens via LAN only. LAN and WAN boards. Okay. So it is local administrative port, RJ45 port. It is used for initial configuration and advanced troubleshooting. And it is the most important and sensitive port on the router. Like important port means, like if someone has access for LAN port, they don't have a full control of the device. So someone have access to WAN ports, they don't have a full control of the router. But if you have access console port, then you have a full control of the device actually. Is the most important port. So the console port always should be very secured. We need to set passwords. I'll tell you how to set the passwords. Sensitive port. So if you multiple times plug in, plug out, plug in, plug out, if you do like this, or hardly insert or hardly removing, if you do that, like inside of that port, there are very sensitive copper plates will be there that will be get damaged. So if it is damaged, we cannot access that. So handle it very smoothly.
If it's damaged, can the port be replaced?
No,
Okay.
We can use another port, auxiliary port. We cannot replace it actually, because it is integrated to motherboard. Like mechanic will check whether it will be repaired or not. If it is able to repair, you can do, or we need to change entire the device. That's all. So this console port for local admin. Your administrator is connected to local, then you can use console port, and through console port you can configure. Like what about for remote admin? So administrator is in remote location. From remotely we want to operate that router. Then how? Auxiliary port. But for use auxiliary port, we need some mechanism. Like from auxiliary port is connected to dial-up modem. Dial-up modem to telephone exchange office. Telephone exchange office to internet. Through internet, admin is connected actually. This setup, this connectivity required, which is outdated. Do you remember early days we have dial-up modems, right? So we don't have a dial-up modems right now. It is outdated technology. We don't use auxiliary port. So instead of auxiliary port, we have some other mechanisms called telnet, SSH. So using these protocols, we can take remote login actually. Okay. Auxiliary port, it is a remote administrative port used for remote admin for configuration. Used to connect the auxiliary port to dial-up modem. Dial-up modems are required. That is outdated. We don't use it actually. Clear? Yeah. Now we'll see internal components of routers. These all are external components. So finally, what type of interface and router? LAN interface, WAN interface, admin interface. LAN interface types are RJ45, Ethernet, Fast Ethernet, Gigabit Ethernet. WAN interface are normal serial interface, smart serial interface. Administrative interface is console and auxiliary port. Let us see now internal components. Internal components of a router. I hope you have idea about PC internal components. Everyone?
Yes.
So tell me PC internal components first. Yes.
Motherboard,
Motherboard,
RAM,
processor, okay, RAM, HDD, ROM, SMPS, correct? Motherboard purpose. What is the motherboard? Like processor is connected to motherboard, RAM is connected to motherboard, hard disk is connected to motherboard, ROM, SMPS, keyboard, mouse. Like all hardware components are integrated to one centralized board called motherboard. Correct? Same like for router also, router LAN port, WAN port, admin port, all ports are integrated to one centralized board called motherboard. Like for all electronic devices, motherboard is available. Even your mobile phone, board, like inside board builder, right? Your charging pin, your volume pin, your power off pins, all pins are connected to motherboard actually. Agree? Yeah. And processor. So what are the input is given through input devices? It has to be processed it and give output through output devices. So for every device, process is required. Even for router also, router mechanism like processing it, packet switching, packet forwarding, best path, running algorithms, process is required. A router also having a processor. Then what is the purpose of RAM for computers? Yes, what is the purpose of RAM?
Storage purpose.
Storage purpose. Okay. Yes, please respond, all of you. What is the purpose of RAM for computers?
Memory.
Memory. Okay.
Temporary memory.
Temporary memory. See, this is your computer. Consider it is installed with some RAM. It is 2 GB RAM. Now I have opened one web browser. So that web browser is open with what? RAM. I have opened one paint page. See, this is paint page I have opened, right? So this is opened with what? Like presentations and packet tracer, paint page, notepad file is all the files are open with RAM only. So RAM is a primary storage component, correct? So now this paint page is stored in where?
RAM.
In RAM. This notepad file is stored in where?
RAM.
RAM. So all running applications, whatever you have opened, these all files will open with RAM only. If I open a web browser, it will open with RAM. Correct? So what if I have suddenly my laptop got powered off? If suddenly it's powered off, then can we get back this paint page back? Can we
No.
get back this notepad?
No, sir.
Why?
Because it's not saved in the
HDD.
system.
So it is not saved in HDD. So it is in available in RAM. RAM is temporary storage because RAM required a power supply to store the information. We call it as volatile memory. Correct? RAM is volatile memory. For RAM required a power supply. As long as your power, your PC, your device is on, it will give the power supply. Then it stores. If my PC is not shut down for 2 days, 3 days, then you can get this pays every time, right? Paint pays every time you can see actually. So once if it is shut down, no power supply, then it's empty. RAM will be empty actually. So RAM is a primary storage and temporary storage. Same like router also having a RAM, then for router, if you assign IP address, some IP address you have assigned for LAN port 10.0.0.0.1, and you have configured some serial interface IP address 1.1.1, and you configured some password. So these all configurations where we store primarily
RAM.
RAM. So that RAM file name is running configuration. Running hyphen config. Remember this file name. All configurations will be stored in, what is the file name? Running hyphen config file. So if you open this running config file, you can see your all configurations actually, what are you have configured. Then what suddenly my router got shut down? No power supply is off. If power is off, then can you get back your router IP address, LAN IP address, WAN IP address, passports, configurations? No. Because Ratnakar, Ratnakar, please mute yourself. See, is all configurations will be stored in RAM. And if a router is rebooted or shut down, so you don't get these configurations back actually, right? Because it's primary storage and temporary storage, volatile memory. But we need our configurations should be permanently saved. So where to save? Hard disk. So we have a hard disk in PCs, but we don't have a hard disk in routers. But similarly, hard disk similarly have one more type of RAM for routers, which we call NVRAM, non-volatile RAM. NVRAM is similar to hard disk of your computer section. And this NVRAM file name is startup hyphen startup config file. So all configurations, you have configured some routing protocols, RIP, OSP of some, you have configured some ISP, IP address, bandwidth, whatever the configuration is done in router will be stored in where? In running config. Like how to save this permanently? So manually for every time we need to copy the configurations from where to where? Running config to startup config. Then only your all configurations permanently will stored in NVRAM. If configurations NVRAM, then your router is rebooted multiple times, then no problem. You can see your configurations permanently saved in NVRAM. The NVRAM is non-volatile. Power supply is not required. It's similar to hard disk actually. Got it? Next point. How PCs will boot up? How PCs will boot? So every device required instructions, boot instructions that we called BIOS, basic input output system. BIOS programmed is in ROM chip. Similarly for router also, ROM chip is available, which contains boot program. We call bootstrap program. Will store in ROM. In computers we call BIOS. For routers we call bootstrap program. PCs works with OS. Can be Windows, it can be Linux, it can be Mac, any OS will be okay. Routers also works with OS. That OS is iOS, Inter-Network Operating System. Basically, your OS will stored in hard disk. In hard disk, one of the partition is C drive. But what about IOS in routers? So we have a separate memory for routers, which is flash memory, flash cards. So flash memory only for operating system called IOS. So bootstrap program in ROM, IOS in flash. There are 4 different type of memories in router: RAM, NVRAM, ROM, flash. So what type of files will store in RAM?
Running.
Running config, which is primary and temporary. And what type of files will stored in NVRAM?
Permanent configuration.
Permanent configuration. So files will come to NVRAM automatically.
No.
Then
Then copy and paste from
we need
running.
to copy from running config to startup config. Yeah. So simple example, this paint page, it will save automatically to hard disk.
No.
We have to give
We
a
have
path.
to save. We have to give control yes and give the path, right? Means what happening? Now this paint page is open in RAM. If you do control S, is copying. One copy is going to be saved in hard disk actually. Same logic. Your all configurations, IP address of router, passwords of router, routing protocols, all the configurations will stored in RAM of router. That information we need to copy to NVRAM to make it is permanently. That is what we always need to do, copy from RAM to NVRAM. In startup config to running config to startup config. And what type of files will store in ROM? It contains bootstrap program which is searches and loads the operating system. It's similar to BIOS of the PC. It contains a ROMon, means ROM monitor for advanced troubleshooting. And flash memory contains IOS. Inter-network operating system is stored here. This is Cisco proprietary operating system. Cisco proprietary operating system means IOS works in only Cisco vendor, not works in other vendors actually. NVRAM, non-volatile random access memory. It is similar to hard disk. It is known as permanent storage. Startup configuration is stored here. And RAM is also called as main memory, temporary storage. Running configuration is stored here. These all are internal components of router. So if you see, if you open this inside view like this, routers.
Is flash removable and you can keep the flash?
Yes. Yeah. Now we can get external flash cards actually, like memory card type.
Okay.
So we can remove and we can copy this latest IOS and I can insert like that. We can format it and we can freshly we can add one IOS files. This is flash like this. So left side you can see the button here. If you press it, this card will come out. Now this card you can connect it to your computer and you can format or upgrade it and copy the latest iOS and again you can reinstall it actually.
So this is additional to the internal flash, right?
No. This is only like some older model routers have internal flash. This is external flash actually.
Okay.
Yeah. Any more doubts? Have you done your practices?
Yes.
Good.
There is a
So I created a group. I'm sharing this link. Using this link, you can join to the group actually. So let us maintain this group very professionally. Like this group will have for updates and communication about sessions, or while doing the practices. If you are stuck in somewhere, if you have any doubts, you can post in the group. I will try to reply actually. You just take a screenshot of your error. You can post in the group. So if you have any doubts regarding these practices, you can ask me in the group. Please maintain this group very professionally, okay?
Although I encountered some issues
Yeah. Couldn't hear you. Sorry.
after downloading the software.
Okay.
Asking to create a login and password. So
No. You can see the two options there. Don't give any logins. No need actually. You can see one more option, guest login.
okay, but it is no why.
You can see the guest login actually.
Let me barely. So might be the version which I downloaded. It's netacad.com login credentials. What it is saying to me is I have guest login. When I say click on the guest login, it is opening the netacad.com courses and packet tracker. And after that, they're asking me to log in.
Yeah, you can see here a direct link. No, I can avoid it. Cisco packet tracer 7.364-bit. Start downloading. This is a direct link. I have shared in group in chat. You can use this.
Yeah, if you can send that link for me.
Yeah, then shared this link in chat.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Yeah.
Let me try one more time and let's see if I have encountered any problem.
Yes, please. So this is a course presentation book. And lab manual book. Example, if you click on that link, you can open this through in web links. You can see IPv4 addressing concept. Like dynamic routing, RIP protocol. So it's all course presentation I have shared actually. Similarly, lab manual also. So both links I have shared in group, in chat. Okay. Anyone can please reshare it in WhatsApp group. Then everyone can easily access it. Okay.
If somebody's already started the WhatsApp group, can I share my telephone number at here so that you guys can add the group?
No, I just share the link, WhatsApp link actually. You just using that link and join.
Thanks.
Yeah. All good.
So you sent two links, right?
Yeah, one for course presentation and for a lab manual. Initially, I have shared that link for WhatsApp group link.
Yeah, one I got it, WhatsApp. The other one is
Course presentation and lab manual.
Sir, could you copy those links in the chat box?
Yeah, I already shared in chart. So total 4 links I have shared. One is for adding to WhatsApp group and one is for Cisco Packet Tracer link. The last 2 links for material like course presentation and lab manual. Ravish shared all the 4 links in WhatsApp group. You can access it. Okay. Thank you guys, everyone. Have a good day.
thank you.
WhatsApp link again I'm sharing, okay?
Thank you.
WhatsApp link, where is it? And yeah, done. Thank you. Thank you.